Welcome to the Moon Tribe podcast. I'm Simona, your host. I'm here to inspire heart-led entrepreneurs and conscious leaders to follow their purpose and create a life of freedom, wealth, and magic. Welcome to the Moon Tribe podcast with me, Simona. I've been sharing in these first episodes how I followed my purpose and why I created Moon Tribe. So now I would love to share with you my 3 biggest lessons of being in business over the last decade. So I started my very first limited company in London in 2011. It's 13 years ago. It's been a while. And I've learned a few things about being in business on the way, not always in the easy way, but I've learned a few lessons, that's for sure. So what I would say, my 3 biggest lessons that I've learned are: the first one is reinventing myself frequently. And that has to do with really giving myself permission to change, giving myself permission to reinvent myself and reinvent my business. Because I feel life is about rebirthing ourselves and changing and evolving over and over and over. And as you evolve, your business needs to evolve. So it's important to allow ourselves this space to expand and not be afraid to pivot or adapt, right? That's actually one of the beauties of being an entrepreneur, that you are the boss. You can make it up, right? Sometimes we can forget it and get lost in our own structures. But actually, I really recommend creating a business that serves you, serves the lifestyle you want to live. And as this adapts and changes, so your business must adapt as well. It's as easy as that. So of course, we don't have to reinvent the wheel all the time. But what I think is very important is that you notice if you're feeling stuck or if you're feeling bored in your business. Because it's very important energetically that you are actually connected to the heart and soul of your business, that you're feeling lit up about your business. So keeping the fun and the joy and the passion for what you do alive makes everything flow so much easier. And when you are in your zone of genius, then I always find work isn't really the right word. I love what I do. I enjoy it. It feels more like playing and creating and expressing. So whatever shape it takes for you, but make sure you stay connected to this excitement, to the heart of your business. That's the first one. Second one, I would say huge, is mastering my mindset. So obviously I did quite a lot of work on my mindset since I started my business and since I worked with coaches. And nowadays I do a lot of mindset work with my clients because it's such a game changer. So what I've learned is that when we want to grow, when we set big goals, when we dream big, we have a high vision for our life, we need to stretch ourselves. We need to give ourselves space to actually grow into becoming that person who you want to be. And when we stretch ourselves, what happens is that it can bring up a lot of our limits, a lot of our perceived limitations, let's say it like that, which can be limiting beliefs. It can be old doubts, fears. Some of our shadow can come up. Many of us have this struggle of feeling inadequate, right? So for me, that was, of course, all of these came up big time. And I've learned that whenever I grow as an entrepreneur, I need to expand my capacity to hold the next level, whatever that is, the next level of clients, the number of clients you're working with, the next level of impact. How does that look like? How does the next level look like with your team, with your finances? So we need to allow ourselves to expand. A lot of it, not all of it, but a part of it is the mindset. So what happens with our mindset, just to really summarize it, and we will dive into it much deeper, but our thoughts and our beliefs are often something that's been running on repeat, but that's not necessarily true. So we have to be careful not to make it mean something that it doesn't. And in business, there are many opportunities, right? Let's say you have this goal that you want to achieve. Let's say I want my business to be in a certain place financially by the end of the year. And then it doesn't happen. Or I have an idea for a certain launch and it goes differently. Or I have an idea for someone in my team and it goes differently. So as entrepreneurs, like for everything in life, things sometimes don't go exactly the way we want it, right? So what is important is not to create a story and make it mean something that it doesn't. So that's been a huge lesson for me. So for example, we can make it mean, I'm not good enough. I'm not meant to be an entrepreneur. Maybe this isn't meant for me. Maybe I shouldn't be doing this. Maybe I'm not good enough, whatever variation of it. So that's actually not true. Nothing about that says that this is the case, right? So what that can mean is maybe just that it's not the right time yet. Doesn't mean anything about you. So for me, a big one was learning to notice the stories I'm telling myself are not necessarily true. And instead, I need to choose my thoughts and beliefs carefully because they are self-fulfilling, right? So that's the power of coaching, to really become very, very mindful and very, very awake what's going on up here. And that's why also nowadays I love supporting my clients with mindset work. It's one of the big pillars. And it affects so many levels. It affects our confidence. It affects our ability to show up, be visible in our business. Big one around money. For most of us, there's so many layers of money mindset work, a lot of stories we have around money. And also for relationships, it can really create a huge breakthrough. So that's been my second lesson, affecting my entire life, is around mastering my mindset. Okay, the third big lesson for me as an entrepreneur was about getting the right support. That was a huge one for me because in the beginning, I was for a long time just doing it solo, Googling, finding things on YouTube, doing all the trainings by myself. And it was really a lonely and isolating journey. And I didn't have the right mentors in the beginning. I didn't even know I could work with a coach, to be honest. I wish I would have. I didn't know that there's all these kind of communities of entrepreneurs, etc. So I wasn't getting myself into these places. So getting the right support was a huge one for me. And I can really say nowadays for me it's so important to find your tribe, right? to find your community, work with an amazing coach or a mentor who is where you want to be and can guide you on the way. This absolutely helps you collapse the timeline to go to where you want to go. It will make the entire journey so much faster, less painful. You will save a lot of time and money compared to learning by trial and error. I learned this the hard way. And of course, if you have the right support, a good coach also keeps you accountable and reminds you who you are, what you're capable of when things get tough. Because things do get tough, right? They do in business. And so we need the right support. We need this pillar. And for me, also a great coach will see the true power in you and the potential that you maybe can't even see yourself yet. But they will, guide you and support you to uncover all this potential. So my 3 biggest lessons in business over the last decade is to reinvent myself frequently, mastering my mindset, and getting the right support. They were all big ones for me. I wish I would have done that earlier on the way. So I hope this sparked something for you. I would love to hear your insights. Just drop me a message on Instagram. I see you in the next episode. And meanwhile, please remember to share your magic. Thank you for listening to the Moon Tribe podcast with me, Simona Shimanovic. I'd love to share my free abundance meditation with you. Go to simonashimanovic.com and join the tribe.